Do you believe that Eli has had a Hall of Fame career?
Respectfully, no, I do not. If he gets in, I'll be happy for him because he's class personified. He's a member of the First Family, and the class that he has exhibited on and off the field, I can't say enough about what I think about him as a person. But when I think Hall of Fame, I'm not looking at a person with a career 500 record at 117 and 117. A person that completed just 60% of his passes. A person that had a QBR of under 50 on 5 different occasions. A person that played 16 years in the National Football League and missed the playoffs 10 times. A person that, you know, when you look at what we've been seeing from him, yes, the 2 Super Bowls cannot be discounted. And that's why if he gets in the Hall, you can't knock it either. But when I think Hall of Famer and I think about all of those numbers that I just threw out and the amount of time he spent outside of the playoffs instead of in it, you know, the 4 other years that he made the playoffs when he didn't win one single playoff game, the QBR under 55 times, the 60% completion percentage, the 244 interceptions, not even a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, all of those different things. It's a team game. It's not entirely his fault. I get all of that, but when I think about Hall of Fame quarterbacks, there are so many guys with so many more impressive numbers. I look at Eli Manning as a very good player, an Iron Man that deserves our profound respect and appreciation for anybody in New York. But when I think Hall of Famer, I don't look at Eli Manning that way.
I sure do. Because, by the way, even if you want to call him a compiler, top 10 in yards and touchdowns and all that stuff in a passing era, do you know what you have to be a compiler? You have to be good enough to start in the NFL, and then you have to be good enough to stay or healthy enough to make all those plays. He's an Iron Man. That has a lot of value in itself. Let's start there. Now we get on to, like, what kind of level did he reach? Was he usually a top 5 quarterback? He may never have been a top 5 quarterback in any year, but there were plenty of years where he was top 10 and for a very long time. And then you look at, like, well, how many Pro Bowls did he make? Roethlisberger made 6. He made 4. And he's throwing in East Rutherford with the wind going every which way, and often without offensive weapons. Yeah. The Giants, when you gave him an offensive weapon like Plex Scopers, won you a Super Bowl. Now let's look at the high leverage moments, because if you're above average, it's like saying you're an above average point guard for 15 years. You might be in the Hall of Fame. Point guards in the NBA is a very competitive position. If you're an above average quarterback for 15 years and you never miss a snap, guess what? You're already kind of in the conversation, particularly if you're a 4-time Pro Bowler. Let's look at high leverage moments. I brought this up the other day when Danny Glover in Predator 2 went into the spaceship, right? and you saw the pelts on the wall because he was the apex predator. Right. Eli Manning, under pressure, y'all, was the apex predator. You know what pelts he has on his wall? Oh, well, there's Alex Smith and Matt Ryan. But there's Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. And there's Tom Brady twice, all on the road. That's what, so in the highest leverage moments, this dude was money. So you add it all up, above average, average to above average and sometimes excellent for a very long time, second longest Iron Man streak, playing in New York in bad weather conditions, frequently without weapons, 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl MVP. You never have to buy a drink, by the way, if you're in a bar either, Carl Banks.
I just want to talk boxing with you.
Yeah. Well, Carl, what do you think?
Well, I'm biased, obviously, but my lens is a little different than Stephen A's. I see a Hall of Fame quarterback. Mm-hmm. And how do I know he's a Hall of Fame quarterback? I don't have to look at his numbers. I played against 8 of them during the course of my career. I know what Hall of Fame performances look like. And when you can perform at the level he does in the playoffs, at the biggest moments, he's no shrinking violet. He was 10 toes down, ready to go when the lights came on. So you look at his biggest moments, who he defeated, the teams he beat, you say that's a Super Bowl, and that is an MVP, and that is a Hall of Fame performer.
You know, I think that's the key, is who he beat, because he stopped arguably the greatest team in history from joining that immortality, you know, with the Dolphins. But this is tough for me because I think that it's levels to the Hall of Fame. And I don't think that he's going to be a guy that's going to get in on his first, second, third time. I think he's a guy that's going to have to wait a while, but I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer, just because whenever you can put 2 Super Bowl, MVPs on your resume, I think compile with the resume, the yards, and the consecutive streak that you have to put him in there. But this is going to be a tough debate because Deion came out the other day, was talking about he doesn't know what a Hall of Famer is. You can say he's a compiler. This is the same discussion we're going to have about Frank Gore in a couple of years from now, because he's a guy that's, moving up on that all-time list because the best ability in this league is availability.
Exactly.
And we've seen great players come and they were like supernovas. They were great for a short period of time, but they don't last long.
Try this one, Stephen A. Stephen A., try this one. Try this one. Roethlisberger was available in that draft with Eli. They could have traded down. Instead, they traded up, right, from 4. They traded Phillip Rivers and what turned out to be Nate Kading and Sean Merriman for Eli. And as a Giants fan, I'm glad we did, and I'm glad we didn't take Roethlisberger because there's also the off-the-field stuff. It's everything together. So if you can say that, how can you say he's not a Hall of Famer?
Well, because I don't have to subscribe to your kind of thinking. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Native New Yorker, who's been biased about Eli Manning for years, feeling the way that you feel, unapologetic about wearing your blue and white pom-poms, I'm being a bit more objective about it. And more importantly, what I am doing is deferring to football people who classified and clarified and defined what a Hall of Fame is. I didn't play in the NFL, Carl. You did. I didn't play in the NFL, Bart. You did. I listened to you and people like you talk about the Hall of Fame and what should be the criteria. It vacillates. There's no definitive judgment, scale or anything, and I totally get that.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.